We're invincible. Trust in me. We're invincible. Don't you see? We're invincible.
Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be starting today with a Football Manager 18 save. As you can see from the intro, it's going to be based around Crystal Palace. We'll get onto that a little bit in a minute. I just want to start off by sort of explaining where we are, where I'm coming from, and why I'm sort of doing this really. So my starting point was a blog back on Football Manager 16. I did a Pentagon challenge. Not many people probably would have seen it because I didn't really promote it that well, and to be honest that wasn't really what it was about. It was more of a therapeutic kind of thing. There was a lot of stuff going on at the time which I won't really go into. Maybe that's for another time really than the first video. But the idea was to transition onto Football Manager 2017, coming onto YouTube, but for various reasons, like I've sort of just touched upon, that really wasn't possible. That I can sort of go into a little bit more. You know, my wife was pregnant with our first child at the time, so time wasn't really of the essence, you know, and I didn't really have the I couldn't really say I could dedicate 100% being able to put out content on a regular basis, so I didn't really think it was fair on myself and sort of putting stuff out there to be really sporadic. Hopefully now I'm in a point where I can dedicate a bit more time to, you know, not just recording and playing but editing as well and everything that goes with it. So hopefully I can keep this going, and I have a long commute to work, so I can always take the laptop in there and do my editing on there, I'm sure. So, you know, if you stick with me, I'm sure I'll be able to get some regular content out, and hopefully it's enjoyable enough to keep people watching. So, you know, here we go. So back to what we're doing on FM18. So as I mentioned, we're doing a Football Manager 18 save based around Crystal Palace. I was originally going to start on the beta because there's a lot of new features that I haven't seen, because obviously I haven't played since Football Manager 2016. So the idea was for the beta to kind of really just be my learning point from a completely blank slate. As I gather Football Manager 17 had a lot of new changes as well. Obviously that didn't really happen, so yeah, so here we are at Football Manager 18. I'm not too sure quite how my laptop's going to handle the graphics. From what I've seen, from what I've done so far, 3D isn't really an option, so we're going to be sticking with the 2D camera. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. The idea is after Christmas, hopefully, to plonk on a new laptop, and once I've got Christmas out the way and paid for, because obviously it's all about our newborn daughter this year. So yeah, hopefully in the new year I can justify a new laptop and get that all put through with the boss. So yeah, here we go. So why Crystal Palace? Obviously they didn't have the best start to this season. 5 games I think it was with no wins, no goals, when the idea was to be sexy new football, attractive football under Frank de Boer. Obviously 5 games I think it was, he was sacked. They brought in Boer. Hasn't really improved that much, although I have just watched Match Today and they did just get a win against Stoke, so maybe things are on the up. But I'm here to, you know, stop that 7 or 8 games I think we're at now, maybe 10 games that without a win, and just try and transition gradually into the sexy football. You know, I think the problem Frank de Boer had, he tried to just do it from the off. And when you've got players like James McArthur in midfield, they're not going to be playing like Iniesta, Busquets. So my idea is to just try and transition it a bit gradual. Move away from the Football Palace have kind of been used to under, you know, managers like Allardyce and people like that, and just try and transition it into that better phase. By no means am I a tactical expert, so I'm probably going to be learning along the way as much as anyone else. Many mistakes that I'm sure will be noted and commented on. So why Crystal Palace again? I'm not a Crystal Palace fan, but I have grown up close to the area. I grew up sort of quite close to Wimbledon, so I remember when they moved to Crystal Palace, at Sellers Park in a ground share with Crystal Palace. Used to go and watch a lot of Wimbledon games, some Palace games. I had a lot of friends who were Wimbledon and Palace fans, so used to go along to watch games with them when I was at school, and a little bit to my late teens as well. So yeah, they're a team that, although I don't support them or follow them, they're a team I do sort of follow the results and see how they're going. As for Wimbledon, I'm not going to get into the whole AFC Wimbledon MK Dons debate, because I'm not going to get into that for obvious reasons. So here we go. The Boer challenge. Where are we up to now? So I'm at the first game of the season. Our first game, I believe, is against Burnley. Let's go to the schedule and just have a look. Where is schedule? It's all moved around since I was playing this last. There we go, schedule. So pre-season, it's gone pretty well. I haven't really stuck down on a system I want to play yet, but we'll go into the sort of what we're trying to do in a moment. So I've skipped the pre-season, as you can see, like as I just mentioned. My philosophy that I'm being judged on by the board, I've got to sign young players for the first team and also develop players using the youth system that's already in place. There are a few videos already on YouTube about this sort of thing, so developing youngsters. So I might put a link in the description, but to be honest, they're from people that if you're watching my channel, you're probably watching their channel and aware of them already because they're far bigger YouTubers and established YouTubers already. So yeah, a mid-table finish is expected, and I had an £8 million transfer budget to work with. So let's have a quick look into. Sorry, I'll just touch upon Burnley. So Burnley they're not with Sean Dyche anymore. They are now with, if we just go into them, Philip Cocu. So going very much a similar way to Palace in trying to hire a Dutch manager with a bit more, trying to bring a bit more attractive football to them. But obviously they haven't sacked Sean Dyche. He actually went to, sort of mimicking real life to some degree, he's gone to, where has he gone to? I believe it was Everton. If I'm mimicking real life, yeah, he went to Everton. So obviously, I think they start the game without a manager, obviously because Koeman's gone, and that's a joke in itself, as the way it's still going. But yes, Everton have brought in Sean Dyche and Philip Cocu, who's gone to Burnley. So they are going to be a little bit of an unknown quantity because what sort of system are they going to be playing? What sort of tactics they're going to be employing. I mean, it already looks like they're going for a 4-3-3. So it could have a little bit of work out of board. They look like if they're going for the 4-3-3, sort of trying to play a possession game, they're going to be in kind of the same position to us. The players there, John Walters, he's not your quintessential winger, is he? So it'll be an interesting first game, I think, to start off with. So let's go and have a look at how we're going to play. So just scroll up to tactics here. So first of all, 4-4-2. Keeping it basic, going back to the old school. I am an old school football manager, championship manager player. Back to the 90s games, 96, 97 I believe was my first one. It was all about 4-4-2 back then. So the problem with this, we're not blessed with many strikers. I'll go on to a little bit of tactic building shortly. But the only striker really at the club, apart from delving into the youth team, is Christian Benteke. So either way, I knew I had to try and bring another one in. We'll get on to transfer policy very shortly. You can probably see at least one, maybe two of them on the formation already. So had a little bit of experimentation, like I said, with the pre-season. We won all our games, but the opposition really weren't up to much. So I'm not too sure really where we're going to sit with the league. So tactic building, yeah, I think we're sort of there with the 4-4-2. I think we'll start off. That will be the tactic we play against maybe the smaller teams. It's very direct. We're going to be playing sort of long ball kind of football, counter attack, quick transitions into defending to attack, and just seeing what we can do. For the teams, that's for the teams who are better than us. For the teams who I'm not too sure. I've got two here that I'm looking for more possession kind of play. So we've got a 4-2-3-1. Again, we haven't really got the personnel for it at the moment, so it'll be a slow transition. And we've also got the 4-3-3, a bit like what Burnley were putting out really. So again, another transition. We need to transition into this with players. I haven't really got many players that can play in this position. But we'll see what we can do. I think that's where I'm a bit not too sure with Burnley, because are they at the moment better than us? Are they going to be worse than us? Who can say how they're going to start? So that will be an interesting starting point and see how we go from the season. So we start the season with Crystal Palace not having the best sort of fitness really. So Sakho, Mamadou Sakho, that is the centre back, signed from Liverpool for about 14 million, I believe, or 24 million. Wow. He was injured at the start of the season. He was out for most of pre-season. He ended up playing a couple of games, so it's good to have him back. But we are still without the main man, Wilfried Zaha. He's still out for about another 2 months. Yeah, 6 weeks, 2 months. Yeah, so we need him back. He'll be a key part on those wings, either side. So at the moment we are kind of relying on Puncheon, Townsend, Bakary Sakho, to sort of fill those positions. So what have we done in the transfer market? Not a great deal. There hasn't been a great deal to choose from. I did want an old head in, so that's the future transfers coming in. So I won't show them until we've got them in. Transfer history. Here we go. So the first one, Thomas Rosicky. I wanted a bit of a wise old head to bring in. I tried to get Pirlo. I tried to get who else? I tried to get Kaka. Not interested. Rosicky wasn't quite so fussy. He's in for just over £250,000. 37 now, but I think he can still do a job when we play that system and play that formation with the attacking midfielder in. As long as he doesn't get injured for 2 months for shaking his hand or something, because he's not the best with injuries. The big signing so far is Alfonso Sousa, 17-year-old Portuguese lad from Porto. He looks like he will be a very good player in the future, but to be honest, with this team right now, I think he'll slot into this team right now. So he's there. Gogic, he's just backup goalkeeper. I was trying to get a new goalkeeper to replace Hennessy. I just don't really think he's the goalkeeper for us. Not a goalkeeper I'm particularly fond of, but I can't get anyone better in. So he's my third choice behind Speroni. Possibly second choice. Who knows if I manage to ship out Speroni, but I'm not too sure. Of the positions I wanted to sort of bring in and strengthen, I wanted another striker. If Benteke gets injured or if I play two up front, I need someone else. But a bit of a plan B striker really. Benteke is the big sort of unit, big tank up front. I want a fast, mobile, agile striker. There's a few irons in the fire. You just saw my transfer screen a moment ago, but until someone's in, I'm not going to really speak about that too much. Like I say, I've only got about 8 million to spend, and some of that has already gone on. A lot of that, a big chunk of that has already gone to Sousa. So I'm trying to sell, see if I can bring in. I did try to bring in Jack Wilshere for the centre midfield spot. I think we need a bit of a younger replacement for Kabay. A bit more legs, a bit more energy, a bit more oomph in the midfield. Arsenal weren't really willing to let him go. Out on the wings to cover for Sahara, I tried to get Rene Adelaide from Arsenal as well. It wasn't. I don't know what the problem was there. He went on loan to Norwich in the end, so they were willing to loan him out. I think I might have had too many loans from the Premier League, so that could be it. I'm kind of limited on the transfers I can do, but I'll obviously in the next coming episodes, and the next one will be around the transfer window. I'll be bringing that up. I've scoured the under 21s, under 23 teams from around the world. Again, not too much really to pick from. That was a bit of an old tactic from the old Championship Manager games back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Just go and scout Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and you'd normally unearth a few gems, but so far not really been able to do that. So let's have a look at the squad we're working with. So I'll do it by position. Here we go. So I've managed to bring up a few players from the youth team. We've also got Fosu Mensah on loan from Manchester United, who could be a key player for us this season. We've also got Loftus-Cheek from Chelsea. In the reserves, just sort of rotting away, we had Jordan Much. I am trying to sell him if I can, because he's not good enough for sort of what I'm trying to do, but at the same time he has a few good roles that I can use, and if I can get 4 million for him, he'll be out the door. We've also got this Kai, who's in the reserves. He's a 21-year-old sort of winger striker option. So he's been brought up. As you can see, he's had quite a good pre-season, 4 goals in 5 games. So to be fair, I think 4 of them were against a non-league team, so I'm not reading too much into that. But he's already worth 4 million. 3-star, possibly 4-star potential player. So if we can give him some game time this year, especially if we manage to ship out a few of the other players like Sakho's wanted, then we'll see what happens. We've also got this Ladapo, Nigerian striker in the reserves. Never actually heard of him before, but I've had to bring him up because I just purely don't have any other options. But he'll probably get some game time this year, either as a second. He is listed as well. If I can get sort of some money in for him and get him off the wage, he's not on a big wage, but get some money off into the club and reduce the spending on players, then he'll certainly be one of them. But if not, he'll be coming off the list and he'll be a backup option. Bizarrely, Benteke is someone is interested in him, and we were very close to getting a bid for him, but then he got injured in a pre-season game. It is Everton that wants him, so Sean Dyche is trying to work his magic there, but it will take a lot of money for me to lose him. But at the same time, it could bring quite a lot of money in for me to strengthen, but I'd need to bring someone really good in for that, and there's not really people interested in coming to Crystal Palace at the moment, so I'm not too sure how that will work. We have had the draw for the first round of the Carabao Cup, which is a very local derby against Charlton, and we are at home, and that will be in sort of 2 games time. I was planning to play 2 games today. We'll see how that goes with time, because obviously this is quite a bit of an introduction, so we may just play the Burnley game today. I may come back for the Charlton game just because it's a local derby, but possibly not. I'll think about that at the end of the game and see how we go. So let's get into it and get into that first game then, shall we, and see what we can do. So if we go to preview game. So home to Burnley. I think a few games may have already been played. Let's have a look. Oh, this is all... No, I've gone to the England squad. This is all a bit different layout for me. I might need to have a bit more of a familiarisation. This is literally like the first I've gone into it really. I haven't done another save, or this is me learning the game sort of from scratch now. So so there's only been one game. Man United won 3-0 against Leicester. So let's get into the game. So we're at home against Burnley. Look like we're going to be matching up fairly... No, they're playing the 4-3-3. We are going to I think we're going to start with the direct 4-4-2 and see what happens. We can always sort of change it up and move to the 4-3-3. We've got the personnel kind of there to do it. And Jeffrey Schlupp is one who's possibly on his way out. Lille have bid sort of 9 million going up to, I think it's about 14 million. So I might have to take him off the bench. Plus he's a little bit injured. Soiree probably will drop out for Arnholt to start with, just because he's had most of pre-season out injured. We're going to bring in Sacco for Fosu Mensah to start with. Switch him over. Bakary Sacco has had a good pre-season, so he might stay in. But then at the same time he could be going, so it's a tricky one. But we'll get what we can out of him to start with. We will stick Afonso Sousa on the bench, just in case we need that attacking midfield. And he'll come in for Tompkins. We do need a striker on the bench, so we will drop out. I'm not going to go with a goalie, that's fine. So we'll go from here. I should have had this team prepared really to start with. But so Benteke probably won't last the whole game. Afonso Sousa will get the Thierry Henry number. Number 14. And we go in. So because I've had just the pre-seasons really, I don't believe all my stats and all that are set up. So we might be jumping in and spending a little bit of time going with that. So we're going to start off with the team talk. Passionate first game. Go out there and impress me. So Cabaye looks like the only one that's really happy with that so far. So we'll see if we can build on that. We'll go passionate again. Just first game of the season. We need a... Yeah, it hasn't really worked, has it? It's okay, but not amazing. So we're in the tunnel. Yeah, we had a few players injured. Yeah, so we'll skip the intro. Here we go. So we need match stats are up. League table will get over here as well. And wow, we're 1-0 down after 1 minute. This is a fantastic start, isn't it? But hey, we're not bottom. We're not 3-0 down yet. Okay. And they nearly go 2-0 up, so we might have to think about changing to a different system pretty quickly. Brady comes forward. Can we counter? No. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for winning the ball back and just hitting them on the counter, hitting the ball up to Benteke and seeing what he can do. But so far it's not really working after 15 minutes. We've not even had a shot, and they've had quite a few. We've had a couple now, but none that are a highlight. So they bring the ball forward again, and we've given away another corner. Wow. Okay. We're just not getting the chances to counter. And to be fair, this 4-4-2 direct isn't really one that I managed to experiment with in pre-season. I was going to go full hog and go for the possession type play, but I had a bit of a change of heart, and I think we'll give it till half time. We might have to change it before half time. Sacco struggling. This second striker's injured. Yeah, we're going to have to change it just because we've got an injury already. Can we counter and get a highlight? Here we go. Kai out to Benteke. Out wide to Sacco. Can he do something? Oh, I thought we'd scored. I thought Puncheon had nipped. Is it Puncheon? I thought Puncheon had nipped in and grabbed us a goal, an equaliser then, but would have been very much against the run of play. Very much so. The possession's very much in Burnley's favour, but to be honest, that was kind of to be expected with the way I'm set up. We've got a corner now. Goodbye to take. Cleared out to Puncheon. And we've equalised. Christian Benteke, the big man. Had to be. So we won't change anything just yet, but the score isn't showing in the top. Was it disallowed? It was disallowed. Right. Let's go to tactics. We're going to change to the 4-2-3-1. So it's going to come off 4. We're going to stick Sousa. No, that isn't right. Where's that change gone? Sousa's going to come out here. What else can we change? There's not much really at the moment. So we'll go to the team talk. We're going to get assertive with them and just show me something else in the second half. That's got them motivated. We'll stick with that. We're happy with that. So if we can get a quick goal and see what happens. We just need to test their goalkeeper a hell of a lot more. Not really much happening in the second half so far, which at least we're not 2-0 down already. They've made a change. Actually, Westwood on for Jack Quark, which they brought on one injured player for another, which doesn't make sense. So can we do something? If we can win this ball. There we go. Benteke's through. And we've equalised. Benteke, this one is, and it's good this time. We're good this time, so we are level terms. So we're already doing better than De Boer. We've got a goal. Okay, we're not winning, but hey, we're not losing. So I'll take that as a good start. Skip the highlight. It wasn't a particularly great goal. We're not looking at it in 3D, so there's not really much to see that wasn't seen before. So we are looking a bit better now. Possession's back up to level. A few more shots on goal. Okay, they've still had a few more than us, but to be fair, most of those were the first half. Tottenham winning 3-0 against Huddersfield, to be expected really. Oh, Sacco goes close, nearly 2-1. Let's see what we can do and bring a change in. Who can we bring on? So, we can go. We'll get Loftus-Cheek on. We'll bring off Dubai. He's not been a great game. He's a bit tired. And I think we'll bring on Townsend for punching. Bit more of an attacking threat. See what happens. We've got to confirm the subs. There we go. So we've got sort of a couple of minutes now for those subs to try and make an impact. Should have brought them on a bit earlier, really. Oh my god. And Bobby Brady has piped up with a free kick in the 90th minute to, yeah, just undo all that good work, really. Then getting back to the game. To be fair, they probably do deserve to win the game. First half, they were far better than us. Second half, we very much came back into it. But yeah, the first half did it, really. So something to take from that, really. You know, take the positives from any result. So I'm going to get assertive again, I think, and just say, unlucky boys, yeah. To be fair, we were unlucky. A free kick in the 90th minute. Yeah, so we'll see how time's going. Yeah, we'll come back for the second game, so we'll come back to that shortly. So here we are, back for game 2. We're away to Huddersfield. I am switching up a bit, obviously, after that disappointing defeat against Burnley. I think I should have gone for the more possession-based tactic. We probably are a better team, better squad than Burnley. We're still trying to get some players in. I've had a few sort of come and bids go in. A couple of players, Demba Ba was one of them, but they don't want to come to Palace. We can't afford to pay them, get them to Palace, so we're going to keep looking. So we're switching up to the 4-2-3-1 that sort of worked second half against Burnley. Partly because of the result and the way it went and the way it improved the way we were playing. Partly because the second striker we have, Kai, he's back now, it looks like, but he was injured. Jeffrey Schlupp has since gone to Lille, so we're another player down. We're going to switch Sacco back in. We're going to put Scott Dan back in. We'll keep the midfield as it is. I think we'll give Soiree a game. He looks much more suited to that sort of wing back role. We've got this guy, Tarmagadze, in. He's on trials. We can't play today. But we're going to see what he's about. He's a bit of a journeyman. Not sure if we'll sign. He's got this. The stats look okay. He's a sort of 2.5 current ability plays. He's got a lot of decent amount of caps for Georgia, if not amazing. He's 27 years old, so he might just be a bit of a squad player. He's played for Shakhtar, played for Freiburg in the Bundesliga, but hasn't really sort of set his career hasn't really set the world alight. So we'll see about that. But so we're going to go into the Huddersfield game. Okay, so Kai is back. Mamadou Sakho is recommended 75 minutes. So Huddersfield also lost first game of the season. They lost to, I think it was Tottenham. I think we touched upon it in the last game. I think they went about 3-0 down at one point. So we've got a few players struggling for fitness. So let's see what we can do. So away at home, I fancy us in this one, to be honest. Benteke also got in the team of the week after his performance. So we'll go out there. We'll be a bit. We're going to be assertive this time. Let's see. I expect to win today. Because I do expect to win today. I expect us to be beating teams like Huddersfield. No disrespect to Huddersfield, but we'll go assertive again. I want to see a good. They're not really responding to that, so let's see how we go. So we're playing our traditional claret and blue today. Huddersfield in their blue and white stripes, and let's see what we can do. I can't see that they've made many signings. I'm not really familiar with the Huddersfield team. I haven't really watched too much of their games this year. I haven't really caught too much football this year, to be honest. I'm a bit behind on it, and being an Arsenal fan, there's not been too much to watch. And we nearly go 1-0 down. They have the first sort of highlight. We haven't had a shot, which is worrying. But we're 25 minutes in, and we might have had a chance then, but and they're in behind. And he scuffs his shot. So we're still in this game, but we need to sort of put our stamp on it a bit more, really. We need to win the ball back, just see what we can do. Some things, they've got a free kick, which we know we're not the best at defending, which is surprising because we've got some good defense, good height. It's actually a penalty, not a free kick, and we're 1-0 down. Wow, this is not looking good. We've got the possession, but we're just not doing enough with it. So we might have to have a little look at this and see what we can do differently. So maybe if we change him to a winger as well, just try and get a bit more going down that width. In fact, no, we'll change him to an inside forward on attack. He's either footed, but he can cut in, he can drift wide, he can do it all. So let's see what we can do there. In fact, that's probably not a good idea with the fullback attacking behind him, is it? We'll go winger support and see if this changes anything. So 10 minutes to go before half time, and see if at least maybe get to a bit more of an opening at goal, or a bit more of a chance at goal. The problem is we just haven't got enough up front, really, to. It is really just a penalty that's the difference in this game. I mean, they have had more chances. And And again, they're not really reacting to the team talks. Let's go assertive again. I mean, it is a bit unlucky. It's a penalty that's the difference, so I think we'll stick with that. That will do. Useless highlight. Just to kick off highlight, really. So they're playing it out from the back. So they're trying to play a bit of, you know, good passing, and they're in behind, and they should be 2-0 up. They should be 2-0 up. This is worrying. Very worrying. I could be getting sacked as quick as the ball. Obviously, I've had the team score a goal quicker. I think we need to change this up. Let's go to the 4-1-2-3 and see if this does anything. So we'll drop MacArthur down. Sousa into centre midfield. And see if this can do something. I mean, we're winning the possession battle already. It's just we're not doing anything with the ball when we have it. This looks better. But again, we lose it, and they're all on the counter attack, and that should be 2-0 again. Do we go to the 4-4-2? Tactical masterclass going on here, I'm sure he'll agree. Have we got someone who can play up front? Townsend, perhaps? No, not really. Got anyone on the bench that can do it? The Depot. So we'll stick. No, we won't stick him on first. So we'll keep Townsend out in the wide. Sousa's going to come off, I think. He's having a bit of a stinker, really. Stick the Darpo up front. Target man should be Benteke. And let's see if this can do something. I think I'm... Didn't start the game there. I expect to see that possession drop down a little bit now, but hopefully we can start getting a few more shots, getting a few more chances. And it's another free kick. That's our downfall. 2-0 to Huddersfield. And after 2 games, we're on 0 points and hovering just above that relegation zone. So, not good, not good. I think that's going to be it. That's going to be the highlight, and some work to do. And that's the end of the game. Very disappointing. So we're going to get... I think we're going to have to get aggressive on this one. Far from pleased. They're motivated. A bit late to be motivated. So 2-0 loss. That really isn't good. Let's look at the table. So Tottenham and Arsenal, Burnley and Man United and City all flying high. Chelsea can join them on 6 points, as can Newcastle. And we have now dropped into that bottom 3. Another result must have gone against us. So, yeah, not great. Darpo makes his debut. Yeah, didn't really have any impact, did he? We'll send the assistant to the post-match. So let's see, where will we come back next time? I'm going to play the Carabao Cup. I don't think it's worth coming back for that. We'll come back. What's a meaningful game? We'll come back maybe for the Leicester and Southampton games. How are they doing? Leicester, Southampton. Early days, of course. Obviously above us, both of them. So yeah, if we maybe come back for the Leicester Southampton game.